Stephen, as always, it's great and a delight to talk to you here on the Great America Show. We always have a great deal of fun. This week is starting out rather interesting. I thought Saturday night when I was out about to go get a drink with one of my buddies, and I get the news that America has just blown up the nuclear facilities in Iran, I thought, okay, here we go. The weekend progresses. Monday comes along. The rockets are still flying. Monday night, lo and behold, comes around. Donald Trump announces that this war that CNN said was going to take 2 years, it's now only taken a few days. Donald Trump departed for the Netherlands for a summit earlier this morning and had this to say about this new ceasefire that he's secured between Iran and Israel.
Israel said that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have any response from Iran?
Sort of a mic drop moment there, Steve. What's going on in America? What's going on in Iran? And what's going on in Israel?
You know, I tell my kids, because we don't use curse words very often, but those are a pressure relief valve or a punctuation on a sentence. And I think what President Trump is trying to say is, I am bending over backwards to bring peace, and you guys are making my life really hard. It's like a parent that's like, I just cleaned this kitchen, right? Except for people die when the kitchen's not clean. So I can sense President Trump's frustration. It's with both sides. He's saying, listen, I'm back in America saying I'm Israel's puppet, and yet I'm mad at Israel. I'm trying to make Iran be a good global citizen, and now they want to continue to attack you. So, I mean, these are countries that have been at war for many, many years. These are religions that have been at war for 1,000, well, I guess over 1,000 years. And I don't know that we're going to actually see this thing come to an end. I believe that President Trump is about to ratchet the pressure. He might have to ratchet the pressure on Israel more than Iran, but only time is going to tell. But he's obviously frustrated that this war is not coming to an end the way that he wants it to.
Yeah, and I think he has every right to be. He's put his rear end on the line, Stephen, on both sides. By bombing those nuclear facilities, right? He puts it on the line because the next day then they launch a strike on Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, where we have 10,000 troops and over 100 aircrafts. He goes out and does that to protect America and to protect Israel. And then he puts a ceasefire together and he says, all right, idiot, you over there, Iran, you idiots, stop shooting missiles. Idiots over there, Israel, you guys stop shooting missiles over there. And he's somehow found himself being like the principal or the parent. And it's like, dude, we're trying to get world peace here. Both of you people act like adults and just stop. And let's come to the table. To get Iran to come to the table and issue a ceasefire, I think is bigger than vice versa, because Iran's the one that we're trying to simmer down to get nuclear weapons away from. So to even get them to come to the table, Stephen, in my opinion, is just this massive, massive thing that I think Israel should appreciate greatly.
Yeah, I agree with you. As he said there, we get this ceasefire agreement. Iran agrees to it. And what did Israel do? Within the first hour, they dropped a tremendous amount of bombs. Like, that doesn't say that, like, that's my frustration with Zelensky in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Russia says, we want this to come to an end. Ukraine says, we do too. And then they do this massive drone attack deep into Russia. And then they go, we did this in order to end the war. Really? That doesn't look like you did it to end the war. And then within a week, they blow up a bridge from Russia to Crimea. Again, we bombed this bridge to end the war. Like, you don't end the war by continuing to drop bombs.
Yeah, I don't think these people get the picture. It's like, obviously, you know, war makes money for the wrong, all the types of wrong people in this world, right? The military industrial complex, the people that we all despise for prolonging every single useless and needless war that America's been in the last 25 years. And you could go down the list. You can go down and raffle off the main ones: Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, Libya. I mean, all these countries that we have went into that we should have honestly had nothing to do with. Let's talk about the people we were talking before the show that turned on Trump in this period of time when it was time for him to figure out what the heck was going on. Now, when he first said that they were going to go in and maybe bomb Iran, I didn't think that it was going to be this smooth, this easy, this not messy at all, no leaks, no Americans dead, not one American soldier on the ground. Now, I didn't agree, Stephen. I have to be honest, and I've said it on this show. I'm not one of these people who's going to say I said one thing and I said another. I didn't agree with America intervening in this war. Now, in hindsight, but I didn't go balls to the wall and say Donald Trump's an idiot. Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. I said I don't agree with it, and I hope he doesn't do it. If he does it, I hope it ends well and everything goes well. It happened. It went extremely well, and I'm proud and happy that he is our commander-in-chief. And that's the way I look at it. But other people don't see it the same way, Steve.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I sat in a little bit of confusion myself. I was on vacation. I was dealing with a broken down car and frustrated with bad internet. And then I start reading this and I'm like, okay, my problems are small compared to what Trump's dealing with. And I started thinking through it. And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Let me just pull back from the hysteria of CNN, the hysteria of Fox News, and just think through this. This is a man who for 10 years has said, I will do whatever it takes to keep America safe and to keep nuclear weapons away from Iran. So I just put a little check in my mind, right? This is also a guy who said, if I were to use the military, I would go in with massive strength and then it would be done and over. No more endless wars. Check. Okay. This is a man who, whether you're a religious person or not, believes that he avoided assassination and that God left him here to be a president, to make America great and to bring global peace. So like, I could list off a few more, but my point is I started going back like, okay, who is Donald Trump, right? And I thought, okay, he must obviously have intel that they were close to getting a bomb. I think at the same time, he's saying, okay, I'm not Israel's puppet, but I now have to step in as the alpha male and take control of the situation. But I'm not going to lie, from just like standing back, reading what they were able to accomplish from Missouri over to dropping bombs and back, I'm like, this is going to be a movie one day. I believe this is like something out of Mission Impossible. The fact that they pulled this off, they tricked most of DC, they tricked the media, they tricked a lot of us, and then they pulled this off without a bullet fired. Like Iran had their pants down, they didn't even get a shot off. So to me, I think it's a pretty impressive military strike.
And we find out that main base that they hit this morning, according to U.S. intel, Iran said that they moved out any sort of nuclear machinery or anything like that, maybe enriched uranium. We find out today that that's not entirely true, so which means it was probably in that location, which means that's probably why Iran is coming to the table right now, metaphorically on their knees, maybe not so metaphorically, who knows. But I think they're in a very vulnerable situation right now, Stephen. The world is against them. Now, even the people who are extremely anti-Israel are also against Iran because you look, and now I'm not saying these are America's issues because they're not. Human rights abuses, they go on in every single country. I'll argue we got our own human rights abuses here in America. Look what they did to Donald Trump for the last 4 years, right? That's a human rights abuse on my scale. But it's many other people who have been wrongly accused, wrongly convicted, whatever. We have them here in America. They have them there. Every country has their own. That's not for America to go out there and legislate. It's not our job. They need to take care of it themselves. They want a regime change. The people need to overthrow that government, and that's on them. That's not on America. Because if that were the case, we'd be doing it in China right now, as China persecutes Christians and everyone and Muslims and anyone who doesn't believe in what Xi Jinping believes in. But that's not our position. Our position is to ensure that Iran does not get nuclear weapons and Iran stops threatening the world. But to me, it was so telling, and I keep trying to reiterate this, that not one country surrounding them came to their defense. Not Pakistan, not Afghanistan that's run by terrorists right now, not Qatar, not Saudi Arabia. And I think Donald Trump's trip to the Middle East a month or two ago has a very big part of this.
Yeah, I believe the Abraham Accords from his first term played a huge role. And then going over there, my first thought was, oh my gosh, how is Qatar going to react to being attacked because of America's presence in their country? Then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. They just committed $1.2 trillion to invest in the United States because of Donald Trump, $250 billion airplane package with an American company, Boeing. Then you find out that Iran actually gave the Qatari government a heads up. Hey, we're going to hit you. It's symbolic. We're going to hit a non-populated area. I promise you, they were very cautious to not kill an American soldier, because we would have seen a very different Donald Trump had an American been killed. So I think that Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, all of those surrounding areas, they don't want war, but they're also not going to go against America.
It's a very big mistake. And you're right. Donald Trump is like the sleeping cat. You don't want to wake him up, and you don't want to, not, of course, metaphorically, because that man doesn't sleep. He's always awake. But you don't want to poke him too hard, because when push comes to shove, he will go full force, but he doesn't want to. In my opinion, and this is not confirmed, this is not told to me by anybody, I think that Donald Trump has come out so against George Bush, as the world has, right, with Iraq, that he's terrified of being George Bush. He doesn't want to get us into an endless war, because he's spoken out against, and so many of us have spoken out against it for years, that he does not want to be George Bush 2.0. And based on his strikes over the weekend, he's doing everything he can to not be.
Yeah, I saw a meme from Dave Smith and others that are, more libertarian minded. But
Yes.
man, as soon as Trump said we might have to do something with the military, like all of these independent libertarian types, they just turned on him. He hadn't even done anything yet. But then they start putting out these memes where they have AI blending the face of Trump and George W. Bush, and they're calling him George W. Trump. And they are saying that. Now, this morning, Jeb Bush put out a message saying that this was one of the best military strikes, one of the cleanest, that for many, many years, previous presidents have said they're going to deal with Iran. And President Trump actually did it. And he did it without a shot fired or an American injured or killed. And President Trump said, thanks, Jeb. I really appreciate that. So I know that there's bad blood, because Trump was very much against the war in the Middle East. He said, if you're going to be there, you might as well take the oil. Like, what the heck are we doing there? He was against it. And so I do believe he wants to be known as the president of peace. At the same time, I see this as President Trump knows that sometimes you got to punch a bully in the nose really hard. And then they go, okay, I don't want to fight anymore. I think that's what he did here. He hit Iran really hard. And now they're saying, hey, we want to come to the table. So now he's dealing with Israel that doesn't want this war to end, but they still want American support. They're going to lose the support of America if they continue to fight wars that we don't want them involved in.
Yep. And I think public opinion polling is going to show just that. Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen assures me that's what his polling that's not out yet is currently showing. He said I can say that, but that's what is currently showing. Donald Trump's not asking for much. Just get rid of the nuclear weapons. America's never going to use a nuclear weapon. The reason why everyone's like, oh, well, why can Pakistan have one? Why could Russia have one? Why could they so-and-so, blah, blah. Because they're not going to use them. They're maybe crazy in these regimes, but they're sane enough to know that once one nuclear weapon is launched, even one is all that we need in order to ruin this world. So that's all Donald Trump wants. He was asked this morning about regime change. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Do you want to see regime change in Iran?
No. If there was, there was. But no, I don't want it. I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible. Regime change takes chaos. And ideally, we don't want to see so much chaos. So we'll see how it does. You know, the Iranians are very good traders, very good business people, and they got a lot of oil. They should be fine. They should be able to rebuild and do a good job. They're never going to have nuclear, but other than that, they should do a great job.
It seems like Donald Trump is all for normalizing relations with Iran, even down to the metric of trade. Why wouldn't these people want this?
Look, the news is a circus. War, politics, chaos. But you know who's got it all figured out? Your cat. They're just chilling, plotting world domination from their sunny windowsill. Now, my brother-in-law, he has 2 cats, and they don't care about the news. They care about one thing, dinner. And they demand Smalls. This is our video sponsor. And if they don't get it, they're going to take over the world. Now, Smalls is a cat food that is the real deal. It's protein-packed, preservative-free, and made with many ingredients you yourself would eat. So it doesn't stink. It actually makes your cat's breath smell better. Now, cats are an interesting animal, and they want to be fed correctly. A lot of us give them petrified meat biscuits, which make their guts inflamed, their breath smell, their hair ratty. It's really, really bad. So I want to tell you guys about Smalls and a better way to feed your cat. Now, what are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. For a limited time only, get 60% off your first order, plus shipping when you head to smalls.com and use code Gardner. Again, smalls.com, use code Gardner, 60% off your first order plus shipping. Well, you have the war hawks, the war machine, the military-industrial complex. You've got the Zionists. They all want this war. President Trump does not want this war. You know, I read online a lot of people were mad that President Trump thanked God that the mission to hit the 3 nuclear sites went well. He then said, "May God bless Israel, may God bless Iran, and may God bless America." And they hated that. Oh, we don't want, but the problem is, as soon as you make another human an animal or a number or, some kind of, bad word, it's really easy to just think you can just kill them. And so I think Trump is trying to normalize that. I think he's going, hey, you know what everyone wants? They want safety for their family and they want to make money. So why don't I lead with business and trade versus bullets and tanks? And I think most people are used to fighting to avoid war or fighting for war. They're not used to somebody saying, we're going to do peace through strength.
Yeah, they don't understand it. As expected, Stephen, the Marxist Dems on the left, I guess where else are they going to be? Already talking about the I word, impeachment. Never did I think that John Fetterman would be the voice of reason for the Democratic Party.
What you think about the possibility? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says the president shouldn't be impeached because he's impulsive. What do you think of that?
No, I mean, of course, no. She knows it. I know it. We all know it. That's not going anywhere. And, he's been impeached twice, and now he's still our president as well now, too. So it's not going anywhere, and I don't think that's helpful. And I think if you throw that term around, that actually diminishes what the severity of what impeachment is really reserved for.
Impulsive, AOC says? What the... Donald Trump is probably more reserved than any president we've ever had in my lifetime when it comes to things like this. Impeachment?
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing that they turn to when it's something that they don't want. I mean, listen, they have become the party of war. They always say, John, oh, I wish these members of Congress would wear stickers on their suit of who really represents them, like NASCAR. The Democrats did that. They all are wearing Ukrainian flags. They all want war with Russia. But when it comes to President Trump actually doing something to keep America safe again, oh, we got to impeach this guy. We got to get him out of here. AOC has brought more bills to the floor that have gone nowhere than any member of Congress. So Her opinion matters about zero to me. But I am shocked that John Fetterman seems to be a centrist Democrat. He doesn't want to go further left in order to get more attention. He's actually trying to stay in the center, but he understands impeachment would be a waste of time and a waste of money, and it diminishes. Like, if there's a president that really needs to be impeached, then do it. But to just try to impeach someone because you don't like them, that's a bad use of that policy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Before we move on from this, we've got to talk about my favorite thug in the House of Representatives, Jasmine Crocket.
I go back in on Monday. You could have hollered at us on Monday. If you truly felt like there was something, like, there is nothing that they will say that will make me believe that this action needed to take place, and it needed to take place without the consultation of the Congress. All right.
Stephen, they could have hollered at us on Monday morning. This is a woman who wants a top secret national security briefing on strikes before they're going to happen. Could she be trusted?
No, and President Trump would never call her. He would never call on AOC. He did call on Chuck Schumer. He did call on Hakeem Jeffries, even though they tried to lie. They got busted because of the White House records. The people that are in top positions were alerted that this was happening. But the main reason that he didn't tell them until right before it happened is they leak everything to the New York Times, to Politico, to Atlantic. I mean, these guys, they are leakers. So why on earth would you trust a leaker who would leak the plan that everyone now is going, oh my gosh, this is such a brilliant military move? He would never call her, no.
Yeah, like much of the Democrat, I don't understand how these people even made it into Congress, how they get top secret national security briefings. They're sick people, and it's not just them. We find out this week a professor at Georgetown University, one of the most elite universities in America, Professor Jonathan Brown, who serves as the university's chair of the Department of Arabic and Islamic Studies and is the director of the Prince bin Talal Center for Muslim Christian Understanding, posting a message on on X, rather. Quote, I'm not an expert, but I assume Iran could still get a bomb very easily. I hope Iran does some symbolic strike on a base, and then everyone stops. And then lo and behold, that strike comes on a U.S. base. This is a professor teaching our children here in America. Sick.
Yeah, why would you wish for our own country to be bombed? Like, even Tucker Carlson, as crazy as he's gone over this Iran situation, bad-mouthing Trump, even at least he has the intelligence to say, I'm going to pray that American soldiers, men and women, that put on the uniform are kept safe. And this guy's saying, actually, you know what? I do hope we get bombed. Let's teach Donald Trump a lesson.
Yeah. It's like these numbskulls, Stephen, who prayed for an economic downfall just to spite Donald Trump. You're not spiting Donald Trump. You're spiting every single American who has a 401k, every single American who has a stock portfolio, every single American who's got an IRA. That's who you're spiting. Like Tim Walz going out there saying, I hope Tesla stock crashes, not realizing that an overwhelming majority of his state's pension fund is invested in Tesla. I mean, these people are so dumb.
Anything Trump says, they just automatically have to take the opposite position. Miracle shots for the COVID? I will never take that. Donald Trump's attached to that. Then Biden comes into office. Everyone needs to get this.
I'll take 10. Give me 10.
Mandatory. Everyone needs 6 boosters. We need to inject children with this, so it's just craziness.
People, Steve, I was on a flight not long ago, sitting and next to me is some angry person. All of a sudden, I mean, you could just tell very angry, 2 angry people. They put on their masks. I'm seeing people wearing masks again, and I'm like, are you guys this naive? Are you guys this dumb? Like, we've already established that masks don't work. If you're nervous about getting a new strain of COVID that's, hitting 1 in every, I'm not even sure what the number is. I'm not going to say a number to get myself in trouble, but, a very low percentage. And these people are out wearing a mask. Maybe you shouldn't just leave your house. It's like people don't learn from the nonsense and lies and stuff that we've been told over the last, 4, 8 years, whatever it's been. It's truly pathetic that Americans are this brainwashed by whatever the Democrat leaders tell them to do.
I mean, all the data shows the more boosters you get, the more likely you are to be sick. But, I do have a mask that I plan to wear on the airplane.
Beautiful.
Just my Make America Great Again mask.
It's insane, man. These people went absolutely berserk. Before we